And that's what's so exciting about working with Rosabella. They're one of these hot and upcoming products that can very well be and will be the next Nello.
There's not that many affiliates that are promoting it, but the sales are starting to come through and they're starting to ramp up and they're ramping up fast. So like there is such an opportunity right now. We have the Rosabella Saffron Blend, Moringa, and Electrolytes. Moringa, I will call out, is one of those products that it's like a solve for so many different things. If you even Google like benefits of Moringa, there are like hundreds upon hundreds of articles of like all the things that it does. So it's very versatile. You saffron, right? If you guys haven't seen, a lot of people take the angle of it being like a mood lifter. Electrolytes, the hydration angles. There's a couple other bullet points down there as well. We are content creators, we're storytellers. We want to visually tell our story. And so supplements that are in a frying pan, you guys can get super creative with this. Like what else can you open with that people are going to start engaging and start commenting and being like, oh my gosh, like that was crazy. You know, we want to up that engagement.
If you're a TikTok shop affiliate and you're not getting paid every time you post, you're probably leaving money on the table. With Brands Meet Creators, simply browse the pre-approved offers, request a sample, and make a post. That's it. You'll earn a flat fee per post plus your normal commissions. It's free to join and only takes a minute to get started. Click the link below to sign up.
So we're gonna get into some viral videos, some new angles. All right, let's go ahead and watch the first one. This is for Moringa.
One thing that you will never catch me doing as an 11-year nurse is giving myself a lymphatic drainage massage. So you know that trend going around with all these videos saying like if you have puffy swollen eyes or you have the puff on your armpit or you don't have a jawline that's snatched, that your lymphatic system is just backed up. All of those are most likely true, but what they're not telling you is that no amount of self-drainage is really going to heal that issue. You cannot sit here with your lymph roller and fix your chin. You cannot rub your tummy enough and then you don't look puffy anymore magically. It is like sending a plumber to fix the pipe and he really just takes out all of the napkins, tampons, or whatever it was that was clogging your pipe in the first place, but he doesn't deal with the tree root that is growing through your pipe, so it just ends up getting reclogged. So what you want to do is hit your lymphatic system from the inside out or at the cellular molecular level. And I'm going to tell you, this is just like one out of the 500 different things that taking an NAD supplement will do for you. And the reason I take NAD by Catacor is it's full-blown NAD that is science-backed, because what they have is a patent on their liposomal technology that allows full-blown NAD to actually make it through the gut and into the bloodstream and then delivered to every single cell. It's called LipoNAD technology. Look it up. This one also comes with something called trans-resveratrol, which is the same antioxidant that's found in like red wines, grapes, nuts. I'm telling you, every cell in your body needs NAD, and as you age, you lose a lot of it. If you want to work on your lymphatic system from the inside out, you're going to need to do that from a molecular level. You can read all the reviews on this one, but bonus points go to Catacor because it literally has a happiness guarantee right there on the back of the bottle.
First thing, right, you see, if you just want to replay the first 3 seconds right there, you'll notice she has that movement, right?
One thing that you will never catch me doing as an 11-year nurse is
you see her phone is not first like in front of her face. She's kind of creating that movement. That just always tends to work really well on TikTok. So quick little easy tip that all of you can incorporate right there. The other thing that she does is, right, she takes an angle of debunking a lot of viral videos in a way, right? You guys see there's a lot of videos on TikTok about people selling gua shas and people, you know, saying this is how you can debloat and this is how you can be less inflamed. And she goes in and she posts the picture of the gua sha and she talks about rubbing her stomach to reduce inflammation. So I think that trend debunking angle was actually very interesting, because she kind of took a bunch of things that are really popular and being like, hey, none of this is actually going to work. Like you actually have to fix it from the inside out. You hear her say, I think she said she's been a nurse for 11 years or something. We talked about this in our first call. We were talking about the girl who always says that she's a pancreatic cancer researcher, right? Any sort of credibility that you can bring into your video, highly recommend doing that. Even if it's like, hey, my neighbor who's lived next to me, you know, my whole entire life is a so-and-so. I think there's a lot of ways to go about it without having to fake it, you know?
Don't be afraid to say, like, I just got off the phone with my naturopath, or I started working with a functional medicine doctor. So if you're not a nurse and it doesn't feel in alignment to say, like, I've been a nurse for 11 years, some people obviously do that, but use that personal connection to my aunt, my sister, my brother-in-law, whatever that may be, because it almost like there's an interesting thing that happens like within someone's psyche. They hear that and it's like, oh, she's not saying that it's her, but there's a close friend. There's like an interesting dynamic that happens when we share from a story in that regard.
If your pee looks like this, you look like this or this, you're not fat. You're just dehydrated and your body is storing fluid instead of flushing it out. The second you see those armpit poofs, that is your body clinging onto water because you're not properly hydrating your cells and they are in survival mode. That is literally what happens, you guys. Science. And if you think you can fix this by just drinking more water, that's where you're wrong. Water is everything, but our body needs minerals in our water. That's supposed to be naturally occurring, but when water gets filtered, it strips out all the bad stuff and the good stuff. So the more water you're drinking, the more electrolytes your body is flushing out. And electrolytes like sodium, calcium, and potassium act as fuel for your nerves. And we've all been told to drink these bright colored sports drinks to make us feel hydrated, but no one has told us that these are loaded in sugars and petroleum-based food dyes. Not only do they make you feel more fatigued because sugar slows down metabolism, but even these are filled with sugar and additives. Finally, in 2025, someone threw away all that nonsense and they made real electrolytes. It is all natural. There is no added sugars, no nasty stuff. And this orange flavor is colored orange because it has literal turmeric, you guys. You just put a scoop in your water and you're ready to go. It tastes like go-go juice and literally one sip and I feel all the nerves activate in my body. It's like I'm instantly hydrated. And there is no water retention anywhere in my face, in my body. It is like a vacuum got up in here because I am not holding on to any freaking water. And with the flavor, like guys, I have all three because look, you have the orange, you have the watermelon, and you have the lemon lime. Between me and you, choose between the orange or the watermelon. There is just one issue I always warn people about. Since this is a massive company and it's a new listing, these are probably sold out already. If you're lucky enough to see an orange cart right there, I would definitely grab a couple. Get them before they're completely out of stock, especially if you want to try a certain flavor. Cheers.
I feel like I just got a masterclass. There was so much going on. I think like the constant movement with this entire video, his pacing, constant use of visuals. The glasses are obviously super interesting and unique. I'm not personally like a big fan of captions, but these really worked for the way that he was kind of going through the video. It also, I don't know if you caught, but your eye is now, because his glasses are the same color as the little thing that's moving, it's keeping your attention on the screen. So there's a lot of really smart intentionality that this creator is doing with a lot of his videos that go beyond just like the scroll. There's a lot of psychology behind how he creates his videos. With his education about water, like how when we're drinking so much water, it's stripping our body of electrolytes. He did that so, it was just very natural. I really didn't feel like I was being sold to. I don't know about you guys, but it was probably one of my favorite videos in this whole thing. And then of course the knife and there were just so many things to talk about with this one.
As you start creating these videos, it can feel like a lot of pressure to talk at the speed that he is talking at. So I personally, almost every shoppable video that I post, I always change it to at least 1.1x, sometimes 1.2. I do it within CapCut so it doesn't change the pitch. Just a little trick right there, because when I've done these in the past, when I watch it back at normal speed, I probably talk at the speed I'm talking at right now, but when I post them, I go a little bit faster, right? Because everyone's attention span is getting shorter and shorter. So just a little insider tip there. I feel like 1.1 usually works really well.
Totally. Try that out. But if you are someone who talks fast, don't do that.
Yeah,
Because you'll sound like a little squirrel. Okay,
Yeah.
but definitely know your own tonality. But I really love that tip, Chip. I want to try that. 1.1. Okay.
This stuff is garbage and it belongs in the trash. I'm exposing the 4 major side effects my husband's been dealing with since taking these 2 products together off the TikTok shop. I'm gonna link it right here so you know exactly what company and what product I'm talking about. Okay, let's get into these ridiculous side effects. Side effect number 1, my husband is no longer getting up 3 or 4 times a night to pee. I don't know about you, but I used to love getting woken up every 3 hours to the sound of the toilet flushing. Now I actually get to sleep through the night. Rude. Side effect number 2, we're no longer pulling over every 20 minutes because he suddenly has the urgency to pee. So now we just run errands like normal people. What's the fun in that? Side effect number 3, I haven't had to wipe up any bathroom floor dribble in weeks. I was really looking forward to mopping today. Side effect number 4, this is the one that actually shocked me. He hasn't needed one of those blue pills in weeks. Because apparently, blood flow matters. And now he has it. Actually, I'm okay with that side effect. So here's the deal. If any of that sounds familiar, I want you to go ahead and tap the orange cart. Bundle is on a crazy sale right now. You're actually gonna get it for 55% off plus free shipping. These side effects, they're not side effects. Just what happens when something does exactly what it says it's going to do. It's linked below.
This is what we call like a negative hook, a reverse hook, right? She almost is the one that's coming in and starting to create that drama. If you go back to the very first frame of this video, you can see she's talking about it, but she also has her text on screen as she's also pouring out all of the pills.
This stuff is garbage and it belongs in the trash. I'm exposing the 4 major side effects.
Right. So she says, here's the side effects. So everyone always wants to know, right? I always say like bad news is the thing that always goes viral, it seems. And so here she's like, I'm exposing the side effects. And you're going to be like, okay, wait, I better learn about this. You might be thinking, I got to make sure that like, I know this before I buy it. And then of course, all of them are very positive, but the way that she even has her text on screen right there with like the 2 little, I don't know what those emojis are, like the do not emojis, whatever we want to call them, right? It kind of makes you feel like it's serious. When I watched this video for the first time, my thought was like, when she's pouring out all those pills, I was like, where are all those pills going? Are they going like on the floor of her car, right? So the fact that she's in her car is just so interesting. And then she very subtly put in a double CTA, which we actually don't see all that often, but maybe about in 10 seconds in, she says, I'm going to link these specific ones below just so you know exactly what I'm talking about. And then she goes into spinning all of her, supposedly the side effects that are actually positives. And then at the very end, again, she says, I'll drop the link below. So you guys can also experiment with that. Try doing like a double CTA if you end up doing this reverse hook one. I feel like it just kind of makes it feel so serious. And then it goes through a tone of being unserious and then boom, pushes it with the call to action at the end. So I thought this was kind of like a unique flow of story, which ended up working really well. You can also, right, take the script. If you could do it for saffron, you could do it for Moringa, you could do it for electrolytes. You could take this and do it for any of them really, and just apply it to own situations in your life.
That's it for our week's viral videos. Thanks for being here, and let's keep posting.